Without a doubt, Marvel Cinematic Universe has already left its impact on both the film and superhero industry with such a vast array of projects under its belt. Sure, they use a lot of CGIs, but that doesn't make the work any easier. For today's episode, we'll be sharing with you a list of Marvel scenes that were incredibly difficult to film, so make sure you keep watching for more. So without further ado, here's how the MCU film's actors and crew overcame the most difficult scenes to translate from screenplay to screen. Starting today's list, we go back to the first Iron Man movie. Do you know the hardest sequence to film? It's when Tony Stark is building his arc reactor. What Iron Man movie sequence required the most challenging to shoot, you ask? It didn't involve a masterfully staged battle, a tragic character demise, or a huge explosion. No, it was a slow-moving moment in the first Iron Man where Tony Stark, played by Robert Downey Jr., constructs his arc reactor while being kept captive in a cave. The extreme close-up pictures required accuracy and a certain amount of focus. It was actually the most difficult work he had ever been in charge of at the studio, according to Russell Bobbitt, the prop master at Marvel. Considering that Stark is portrayed as a brilliant individual, they wanted the arc reactor's design to appear genuine. Bobbitt had to take Downey through the engineering process step by step to appear knowledgeable. Bobbitt stated that he showed him how wiring functions, and then the actor soldered those. And the really close-up pictures that followed really made Iron Man in that particular moment. Next on the list is from Ant-Man and the Wasp, wherein the size-changing suit proved to be a difficult shoot. The scenes that cause the cast and crew the most trouble aren't frequently the ones that the viewer would anticipate. An anxious day on the set resulted from a sequence in Ant-Man and the Wasp where Ant-size changing man's suit malfunctions. The scale of Paul Rudd's Ant-Man starts to fluctuate erratically all of a sudden. He's been there the entire time with Evangeline Lilly's the Wasp, which is also expanding and contracting. How was this made to appear realistic? We had to mix different size props because Evangeline and I are both in the same scene at the same time, the actor revealed to Radio Times. She's handing me a backpack, I'm grabbing a backpack, I'm handing things to her, but we have to pinpoint the exact location of our hands. Director Peyton Reed said that this was the only occasion we had to use the motion control camera, which requires extensive programming and advanced mathematics when filming this sequence. Moving on to another shooting sequence difficulty, we have Hawkeye's archery scenes during the Avengers Endgame. Hawkeye, played by Jeremy Renner, is renowned for his amazing archery abilities. He can kill anyone if you give him a bow and arrow. Unfortunately for Renner, he suffered 2 broken limbs in an accident on the set of his movie Tag, which he appeared in before filming Avengers Endgame. This makes it a little challenging for him to use a bow and arrow. He broke both of his arms when he fell off a large stack of chairs while filming a pursuit scene. He finished filming Tag with casts on, which were removed in post-production, and then started working on Endgame right away. The actor put his entire focus on recovering as rapidly as he could. He regularly attended physical therapy, and because he didn't want to let anyone down, he decided to just put up with the discomfort while filming Endgame. Then also in today's list, another one that's hard to shoot is Peter falling into the lake during Spider-Man Homecoming. Tom Holland has participated in his fair share of difficult moments while playing the web-slinging superhero Spider-Man. His double takes take control when the stunt is riskier than others. Holland enjoys being the star of the show whenever possible, but occasionally he lacks the abilities necessary to pull off the trick without being hurt. The moment in Spider-Man Homecoming where Peter Parker's kidnapped by Adrian Toomes, nicknamed the Vulture, tossed into a lake, and then retrieved by Iron Man, according to Holland, was the most perilous stunt in the movie. Holland made this a mission during a Facebook Live conversation. His stunt duplicate was dropped into the lake after being dropped in by helicopter. Holland insisted on completing the feat himself at first, but after witnessing it all unfold, he was happy to be watching from the sidelines. On to the next one, it was also revealed that in Black Panther, T'Challa and Ulysses Klaue's fight scene was a difficult scene to film. The sleek futuristic technology, the exquisite costumes, the bright makeup, and the stunning sets made Black Panther one of those movies that are almost impossible to look away from. But it wasn't simply a show for the eyes. There was also a lot of traditional hand-to-hand combat, and they were some of the most difficult scenes to film. It appears to be a rather simple battle scene when T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman, and Ulysses Klaue, Andy Serkis, square off in the streets of South Korea. But in the first take, Boseman brought his best, and Serkis was totally unprepared for it. On People TV's couchsurfing series, Circus recounted that Boseman kneed him so hard in the chest during the very first take because he couldn't see very well while wearing his mask. Even worse, they had to shoot that sequence 30 times before they got it perfect. That first take was just the beginning. And yes, that involved repeatedly flipping and crashing Klau's car. Moving on to another difficult scene, who would have thought that Thor kidnapping Loki in the Avengers film was a hard shoot? Chris Hemsworth's character Thor is one of 6 superheroes in the Avengers tasked with defending the world from his adopted brother Loki, played by Tom Hiddleston. Thor clings to the belief that Loki's intentions can be thwarted thanks to their shared family history. At one point, Thor kidnaps Loki from a spacecraft being manned by the other Avengers to persuade him to give up his wicked scheme. Hemsworth was hooked on wires to fly to film this shot, but his landing was far from a perfect 10. In reality, he had to try multiple times before he succeeded. On to the next one. In today's list, the fight scene in the mirror dimension was pretty hard to shoot in the Doctor Strange film. Without a doubt, one of the most visually striking Marvel movies is Doctor Strange. The chase scene in the mirror dimension, in which Mads Mikkelsen's Caecilius pursues Benedict Cumberbatch's Strange and Chiwetel Ejiofor's Mordo while bending the fabric of reality at will, is the best example of the inventive effects. The picture becomes a surreal excursion as Strange and Mordo go across New York City. The skyline fractures, skyscrapers tremble, and the laws of physics are broken. According to visual effects editor Stefan Soretti, they studied Christopher Nolan's Inception as well as kaleidoscopes, Escher, mandalas, and all that fractal stuff because this was a very difficult scenario to put together. He continued by saying that they asked themselves, how are we going to shoot that before each shot? At first, it was actually too much for test audiences to handle. To bring it to life, treadmills were used so that Strange and Mordo could run up moving skyscrapers. Numerous strategic cuts from footage captured at different heights, rotating shots in post-production, and Cumberbatch and Ejiofor were fastened with wires so they could fly. Next, another surprising film that proved difficult to shoot was Baby Groot dancing in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. The first scene in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 perfectly encapsulated the tone of the entire series. Baby Groot begins the movie with a little dancing sequence while appearing unaware of the fight taking place behind him. He cranks up the Electric Light Orchestra song Mr. Blue Sky on the speakers and starts jamming. Gamora, Peter Quill, and the rest of the crew are in the background fighting a huge space monster with all their might. What made it surprisingly challenged to shoot this scene? Merging the post-production animation of Baby Groot dancing with the fight choreography from the live-action film. The actors and camera crew needed to be aware of a character who wasn't even seen on screen. Finally, the last one for today's list is the Soul car chase scene in Avengers Age of Ultron. The MCU's stunt actors and actresses carry some of the craziest scenes on their backs, but regrettably, they don't always receive the credit they merit. Some of them even serve as backups for other superheroes. To bulk up, Bobby Holland Hanton, who performed stunts for Chris Evans' Captain America and Thor in Avengers Age of Ultron, frequently worked out in the morning and at night. He also ate 7 to 8 meals every day. Hanton cited the South Korean automobile chase scene, in which he substituted for Evans, as the most difficult of all the scenes he had to film. And yes, as they raced down the road, he actually surfed on that car door. There are many more scenes that are quite difficult to shoot, but we're already out of time, so that'll be all for today's video. Before you go, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel with the notification bell on for more videos like these, and we'll see you again in the future. Thanks for watching!